Welcome. Welcome to the kitchen. The red light's not on yet. Now it is. The monitor's not working yet. In a minute it will be. Facebook wants to tell me 20 things, which I don't have any interest in right now. Welcome to the kitchen in Bucks County. There's a lot going on this weekend. A lot going on tonight. Marsha's here. Somebody else is here. I can't see the screen that well this evening. Scotzo's here. I was talking about your brother to my friend Steve Philp. Your brother had the foresight, when was it, about 10 years ago, to buy a 1938 Martin. He won't mind my telling the price because it's gone up in value. So Scott's brother George bought a Martin D28 for $40,000 about 10 years ago and thought that we'll wait for a while and incrementally it might go up in 10 years to 60. But he was wrong. He could probably get 100 for it right now. That's how explosive the used guitar market is. Now, used classics, I'm talking about classic collectible guitars, not if your grandfather had an old Gretsch up in the attic. Yo, Jamie's here. Fred and Cynthia might be here. They don't actually check into the chat room, but Fred's coming in June to sing and play. I don't think he's going to sing, but he's going to play bass. We're going to do a song that he's played a million times, Mr. Bojangles, but he's played it with its original composer, Jerry Jeff Walker. Here's my high ukulele. It's a tenor, and I've got a new set of strings on it, which I've been loving, and I have some requests to get to. I'm going to talk a bit about the big concert tomorrow night at the Watchung Arts Center. Big for me anyway, because I'm playing with two of my favorite musicians and friends. John Corba, who was the keyboard player for Hall & Oates for some years, and Phoebe Snow and John Waite, and many others in the tri-state area. Look, here's my mascot. Can you see him? He's looking over the proceedings, and we have a winner. We have a name for him, and it's perfectly fitting, friends, that the name was given to the monkey by the person who gave Eli this monkey, who shall now be watching over the show every week. His name is Thelonious Monk. That's what his name is. And so Steve Philp, he wins a copy of Muggsy is Fine if he indeed wants one. I know he has it already, but he might want to give one away. Roger's here. Your ears were burning. We were talking about you tonight. You're in Kentucky this evening. Every Friday you're in a different location. Roger and Arlene are trying to keep one step ahead of the feds. Who is that saying hello? Yeah, we're going to miss you, Jamie. Lois is here. Oh, my gosh. Hi, Lois. An old friend of mine. I mean, you could almost say we played in the sandbox together. That's how long Lois has and I have known each other. Lois, where are you? I think are you in Texas? I love this. This is like the days of ham radio, when people would check in and my dad would be up in the attic talking on his ham radio, and he would come running down and say, I just talked to a guy in Antarctica, and I just talked to Gene Shepard in Clinton, New Jersey. And I actually came up to his room once, and he was talking to Gene Shepard, the great WOR radio personality who wrote The Christmas Story. And Gene was explaining who he was. He was saying, I'm the guy who wrote The Christmas Story. We're like, we know. We've been listening to you for decades. Ham radio was great, and this is great. This is like, we had somebody listening last week from far off lands. Where were they listening from? Wales? Anyway, I just made a tape, a recording of this, a video of this. And it suddenly kind of caught on on YouTube. So now if you subscribe to me on YouTube, if you subscribe to me on Patreon, which some of you are on, or if you jump in there on Instagram, which has turned out to be fun, I'm going to be doing dedicated specific content for all three of those locations that I don't do anywhere else. And so where was it where I did this song? I forget. I think it was YouTube. My YouTube subscribers. I have 295 subscribers. And in their great wisdom, YouTube won't allow you to monetize your channel. You know what that means, of course, that you could make money on ads. But they won't do that until you've reached 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. 295 ain't good enough for them. So I'm far from that mark still. But anyway, in a week I've gotten 100 views on this and a lot of comments. People are liking it. So it's a little version of Mother Nature's Son, which turned out to be really nice on the ukulele. By the way, let me rewind for a minute. I know you guys like to hear stories, but also you relate to a lot of them because some of us are the same vintage. When Lois, you might have been a little too young to notice, but it was 1968 when the White Album came out, the Beatles classic. Now, consider the anticipation for this event. Try to put yourself in our shoes, young Beatles fans, teenagers as we were. And what was the preceding album before the White Album? It was Sgt. Pepper. So, we were just like, well, they'll never be able to top that. And what are they going to do to top it? And they did top it. They topped it significantly. They came out with a double album, which was full of classics. Arguably, there's way more classic songs on the White Album than there are on Sgt. Pepper, including Blackbird. And so that night, the New York City radio stations, the FM stations, WNEW, they were just teasing us, and they were playing a cut every 20 minutes or half an hour. We've got the White Album. We've got the new Beatles album. I don't think they called it the White Album then because nobody named it that till some time went by. That album was just called The Beatles in the white cover. Now they even call it that. Yep. In 1968, the Beatles went over to another studio. From Abbey Road, they went to Trident Studios, where they recorded Hey Jude. And Hey Jude was the first song they ever recorded on 8 tracks. They must have thought they were living in the tall cotton to have that many tracks. Ringo liked the White Album way more. He said Sgt. Pepper was the album I learned how to play chess during the making of that album. And the White Album, we were all playing in the same room together as a band again. So Ringo dug that. There's Thelonious Monk. Do you see him? Yeah, you do. So I'll finish this story. Listen, the New York City radio stations were teasing us. And then I think it was probably, I know it was a college station, and my guess is it was probably Fordham University, uh, WFUV, still around today, and they obtained a second generation copy of the White Album that was way, way hissy, and it was way under the proper level. But here's the difference. They said, we've got the whole White Album and we're going to play the whole thing all night. We're going to play it sequentially, all four sides, and then we're going to start all over again and play it again. And I just sat there listening in rapt bliss to my speakers in my living room in Watchung, New Jersey, to the entire White Album, and just, amazing, blowing my mind. And you know what song I remember the most from that night? I don't know why. It had the album has Martha, My Dear, Blackbird, I'm So Tired, Back in the USSR, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, on and on. But the song I remember the most, with this bad kind of low-level tape that I was listening to, was this one. And it just absolutely thrilled me and still thrills me today. So I'll play it for you on my uke. Born a poor young country boy, Mother Nature's son, yeah. All day long I'm sitting singing songs for everyone. Sit beside a mountain stream, see her waters rise, yeah. Listen to the pretty sound of music as she flies. Find me in my field of grass, Mother Nature's son. Swaying daisies sing a lazy song beneath the sun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, a Mother Nature's son. I actually broke a nail during that, believe it or not. How can you break a nail on nylon strings? Well, I took a shower recently, and it makes your nails soft. You know, Chet Atkins used to wear rubber gloves for the entire day, and he wore rubber gloves in the shower. Oh, come on. I can't get this thing open. It's an emery board that's got a plastic cover on it. Okay, whatever. James Taylor, friends, and this will be a good segue into the James Taylor medley that I'm about to do. James Taylor carries his own nail kit on the road. He only plays with his fingernails. Only. He never uses a pick. Does not use finger picks like his brother Livingston does. And so again, if he breaks a nail, the gig would be canceled if he didn't fix it. So he doesn't bring a manicurist around with him. He brings his own nail kit. And he's got big, long nails like the Wicked Witch of the West. So he really gets that projection. That's really part of his thing. Now, Facebook, as you know, friends, what's the big thing about Facebook? Well, there's never a day that Facebook doesn't observe about 25 anniversaries. Anniversaries of people's birth, their death, anniversaries of albums, films. We're very, very navel examining. We're very navel examining about those things, aren't we? Marsha, what are you saying here? My computer volume all the way up, but not very loud. You don't need a hearing aid, but everything... I'll go back and check my levels here. Testing, 1, 2. Why am I getting... I am getting low levels on the VU meter. Why? Why is that? Am I just not turned up enough? That's possible. Testing, 1, 2. Thank you for... No, now I'm overdriving it. So, let me go into the settings here for a moment. Advanced settings. Pardon me, just bear with me. Why is that minus 22 dB? Check 1, 2, testing. Is it going up? I think it is. Some really weird atmospheric deal happened here. Check 1, 2. This is really effed up. I don't know what they did, but OBS decided to change the levels of the volume here for some reason. Now it should be getting, it should have gotten higher now. So Marsha, come back to me. I have to get out of this monitor for a moment. But I think it was you. I think it was me. I think you were right. Oh, good. Okay, Jamie agrees. Scotzo agrees. Boy, thank you. Why do they do these things? Why? The default setting on the microphone was screwing me over for months, and I didn't know. Check 1, 2, check. Check, it should be better now. It's just incredibly vexing. Why? Why do they do things like this? And Facebook does it too. Jim and Paula are checking in. We're better. I hate that. I just hate it. So of all the songs to have a volume problem on, I have a lowered volume because of my streaming service on the softest song on a ukulele. Fucking morons. Okay. So this week on Facebook, probably as recently as yesterday, this is going to be as interesting as watching paint dry here. When I was making my first album for London Records, produced by David Spinoza, who had produced Walking Man for James Taylor, he came in the studio one day and he goes, I just arranged the strings for a song on James Taylor's new record, the record that ended up being called Flag, which is to me my favorite James Taylor album, by the way. It has Brother Trucker, which he wrote for the Studs Terkel Broadway show Working. And this is for Joy Walter, but I don't know if she's watching, because I'm going to do the other song that he wrote for that Broadway show. Question from the group. How do I get the icons? Okay, good. Jamie, talk among yourselves. Also, if you feel like it, jump in, anybody, and tell me your memory of the first time you ever heard the White Album, the Beatles' White Album. Where were you? What was your reaction to it? And Spinoza came in one day and said, I just recorded the song Day Tripper with James Taylor. Now, as of yesterday, I saw on Facebook that Day Tripper, even among diehard James Taylor fans, may be the most disliked cut of all time. Are you lurking about, somebody? But James had never written songs on demand before. Jamie, what is that all about? Playing what for me? At Watchung High? When were you at Watchung High? That is completely confusing. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you played it live, dude. Oh my gosh. Steve Philp and Jamie Flynn and Mike Bonagora and Alan LaBeouf, they did one whole... No, that was Abbey Road. You did. No, that was not the first time I ever heard you, but you did the whole side of Abbey Road that night. My mouth was on the floor. I was just a classical guitar player taking lessons from Tom Anthony. Anyway, let's get to this song. This was written on demand, and James Taylor, in his usual way, rose to the occasion, and when he was asked to write a song on demand, he wrote two absolute classics, Brother Trucker and this one. Well, my grandfather was a sailor. He blew in off the water. My father was a farmer, and I his only daughter. I took up with a no-good mill-working man from Massachusetts who dies from too much whiskey and leaves me these three faces to feed. Mill work ain't easy, mill work ain't hard. Mill work, it ain't nothing but an awful boring job. I'm waiting in the morning, da-da-da-da-da. coffee break where I can have a sandwich and remember. And it's me and my machine for the rest of the morning and the rest of the afternoon, yeah. The rest of my life. Back on the farm, I can see my father smiling at me, swinging on his arm. I can hear my granddad's stories of the ships out on Lake Erie, where fortunes and vessels and cargoes and sailors' lives were lost. Yeah, but it's my life that has been wasted, and I have been the fool to let this manufacturer use my body as a tool. I can ride home in the evening, staring at my hands, swearing by my sorrow that a young girl ought to stand a better chance. But may I work the mills just as long as I am able, and never meet the man whose name is on the label. Then it's me and my machine for the rest of the morning and the rest of the afternoon, gone on to the rest of my life. Millworker from the album Flag. The answer to a request for some James Taylor. Speaking of news that's shared on Facebook, so many things go by these days so fast. So how can you keep track of it all? I swear, most people, most listeners, most Beatles fans even, they don't even understand the fact that Sgt. Pepper has been remixed, not remastered. The White Album has been remixed by George Martin's son. Remixed means they take all 8 tracks and just do them all over again. They even change the reverb on some of the tracks. And it doesn't always come out perfect, friends. They're reshuffling the whole deck. They've remixed Abbey Road. The remix of Sgt. Pepper has a terrible version of When I'm 64 on it. They mixed the bass up so loud on When I'm 64 that it's like disco level bass on this old English dancehall song. So, kvetching here. Remixing, friends, not remastering. The latest remix is the White Album. That's the latest one that was remixed, and it, to me, I hate to, be a complainer, but While My Guitar Gently Weeps is not a great remix. The guitar's not loud enough on While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Eric Clapton's lead is not loud enough for my tastes on that song. It's light. And I mean, like, how could you ever remix a song? Hi, Joy. I'm doing James Taylor songs for you. What if I did a really obscure James Taylor song that nobody ever does? He's got tons of great album cuts. And so this is a segue because Peter Asher went in recently, within the last year or so, and he remixed, not remastered. He took the 8 tracks that were recorded at Sunset Sound in LA of the album Sweet Baby James, with Fire and Rain and Country Road on it, and the song Sweet Baby James. And you know what? They remixed it, and Peter Asher was shocked to find that they only used 6 tracks for some of the songs. Do you know what that means? That means they put one mic on the whole drum set for a couple of the songs. Wild, man, incredible. Here's one of the album cuts. You haven't heard it in years. I'm doing it for Joy tonight. And it's called Lo and Behold from Sweet Baby James. Lonely by day, empty and cold, only to say, lo and behold, deep in the night, down in my dreams, glorious sight, this soul has seen, There's a well on the hill you just can't kill for Jesus. There's a well on the hill, let it be. I don't build no heathen temples where the Lord done lay his hand. There's a well on the hill, let it be. Everyone's talking about the train to glory. Some may sink and some may rise. Everyone's talking about the gospel story. Long, long time till it gets here to you, baby. There's a well on the hill you just can't kill for Jesus. There's a well on the hill, let it be. I don't build no heathen temples where the Lord done laid his hand. There's a well on the hill, let it be. An old James Taylor album cut classic, Lo and Behold. You are so welcome, Joy. Marcia, you're very astute in your judgment. Hi, Billy. Good to see you. Nancy, I didn't see you there. Good to see you, Nance. Where are you, Nancy? You're around, I hope. Let me make a quick plug, and there's Alan right on time for me to plug the gig of the year, the gig of the century, for me anyway. Not necessarily for you, but tomorrow night at the Watchung Arts Center in beautiful downtown Watchung, New Jersey. It used to be the one-room schoolhouse years ago. And I'm playing with two of my favorite musicians, Alan LaBeouf, who's just back from touring Germany, where he was met with standing ovations. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow night? We'll be happy with an encore if we get it, with Alan and John Corba. There was a couple of years there where John and I lost touch after I got married, and I wasn't sure what he was up to. And then on New Year's Eve, I was at the Orthies' house, Scott and Trudy and our beautiful nieces and nephews. And we were in their living room at that great old house. And, oh, Marcia, I can't wait to see you. And what do I want to say? There we were in the living room, and what's the Pennsylvania state law? You have to watch Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve. So we were watching it, and Hall & Oates came on. And I turned to Annie and the rest of the gang and Scott and Trudy, and I said, there's my old friend John Corba, who used to be the keyboard player in my band, the Stingers. And he was playing on Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve with the Hall & Oates. The Hall & Oates. This is like me saying, like a 89-year-old grandpa, the YouTube. I was on the YouTube the other day with you young whippersnappers. And right after that, I went back to the Facebook. Well, I'm going to do one more James Taylor song in this little medley. Then I might do a couple of new songs for you, new originals, as I continue to write and surprise myself. And I got to do an electric guitar song, a blues, that I'm going to do tomorrow night at the Watchung Arts Center. We're going to do it. So I'll give you a preview tonight. But before I do, picture James Taylor. I think he was 19 years old, just turning 20. We've been talking about the White Album. And trivia question, here it is. What album did James Taylor sit in on the sessions for? The White Album, of course. I don't mean he played on it. I mean that he was a guest in the studio, and they never let anybody in the studio. It was a very closed family, tight-knit family situation, but James was being produced by Peter Asher. And he came over, and he had been signed to Apple Records. James Taylor, remember, this is stunningly weird, but he was the first signing to Apple Records. And when he was 19 years old, he had to play this song for Paul McCartney and George Harrison as an audition to pass to get signed. No pressure there, right? And this was on his first album. And I'm going to kind of be tipping my hat to this version. He does it a lot slower now, but I'm going to do the old 19-year-old version, which was kind of like a folk song. It goes like this. There's something in the way she moves, or looks my way, or calls my name, makes me leave this troubled world behind, yeah. If I'm feeling down or blue, or troubled by some foolish game, she always seems to make me my mind. And I feel fine anytime she's around me now. She's around me now, almost all the time. And if I'm well, you can tell she's been with me now. She's been with me now quite a long, long time, and I feel fine. Every now and then the things I lean on lose their meaning, and I find myself careening into places where I should not let me go. She's got the power to go where no one else can find me, yes, and to silently remind me of the happiness and good times that I know. I guess I've just got to know them. It isn't what she's got to say, or how she thinks, or where she's been. To me the words are nice the way they sound. I like to hear them best that way. It doesn't much matter what they mean. She says them mostly just to calm me down. And I feel fine anytime she's around me now. She's around me now, almost all the time. And if I'm well, you can tell she's been with me now. She's been with me now quite a long, long time. Yes, and I feel fine. Well, we picked up an audience member here. Can you see everyone? I'm not sure who this is or what they want, but perhaps my monkey, Thelonious Monk, given to us by Steve Phillip and named by Steve. Is that what you're here for? I don't think I want you to take my monkey. Please don't take my monkey. Do you really want the monkey? Oh, gee. Okay, as long as I can get Thelonious Monk back later. He's my mascot. Here, take Thelonious Monk. Be careful with him. All right. Thank you for making an appearance. We'll meet again someday. Do you know any songs, Strange Monkey? No? Oh. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Bye. This will give rise to a story. That was a real monkey. The zoo has called, and they're missing one monkey. And now that monkey has taken my mascot, Thelonious Monk, and kidnapped him. But I'm okay with that. I think I'll get Thelonious Monk back. I'll do a song before I tell you the next little anecdote. Of all the people you want to be able to play a blues with, let me assure you that John Corba is among the top 1% of players that you want to play a blues with. And tomorrow night at the Watchung Arts Center, I think I'm going to asked the guys if I could do a little guitar obligato in the beginning, like I'm doing right now. I'm just gonna play a little blues for you before I get into this song that I wrote. My heart is breaking, but I've got no tears left to lose. Yes, my heart is breaking, but I've got no tears left to lose. My way of crying is to sing and play the blues. Even when I break down, my tears still refuse to fall. Yes, even when I break down, my tears still refuse to fall. And my way of crying, baby, is to just play the blues for you all. Play another one for you. My eyes are dry and weary, and heaven only knows who understands. My eyes are dry and weary, heaven only knows who understands my way of crying, baby, is you'll hear Johnny the K take himself an acoustic piano solo on that. Tomorrow night at the Watchung Art Center, I think there are still tickets left, but it's closing in on being a sellout, friends. I have enough songs now to actually record a blues album, but yes, the ultimate party crasher. The ultimate party crasher. Everybody's got something to hide, except for me and my monkey. You could tell when John Lennon wrote that song, he was just kind of trying to fill up the album. So I have two new songs. One I wrote this morning, and they're both bluesy, and they're both kind of cut from the same cloth. But I hope you'll agree with me that they're both they're similar and yet they're different. And so, well, let me try this newest one. This is really going to be a potential train wreck, but I like to try things out on you guys. You're the first responders, and also you're the supporters of this show. This is a viewer-supported venture. I really appreciate you guys stepping up recently and supporting the show by going to the PayPal link, which I call the virtual tip jar, and contributing. This is the loneliest time of the night, when the silence descends like a shroud. The night birds asleep. The early... it's not even right. It's not even the right melody yet. This is the... No. This is the... Yeah, it's the tonic note. This is called Can't Even Sing the Blues. This is the loneliest time of the night, when the silence descends like a shroud. The night birds are sleeping, the early bird's not up yet, and the moon's hiding behind a cloud. And I can't even sing the blues. I can't even play my guitar. It's just too dark. There's no light to lose. And I can't even sing the blues. Yeah. I can't even sing the blues. There's a kind of bone-chilling sadness that can hit you at 3. It's the bleakest moment of the darkest hour, and there's nothing you can do to get free. And I can't even sing the blues. I can't even play my guitar. It's just too dark. There's no light left to lose. I can't even sing the blues. It's a cold wind that's blowing, and you never felt so alone. No, I can't even sing the blues. I can't even play my guitar. It's just too dark. There's no light left to lose, and I can't even sing the blues. No, I can't even sing the blues. Okay, wrote it this morning. Before I tell you the story of this might be the last song, maybe I'll do two more. I was talking about this recently where years and years ago I heard this name of this song and I thought that is the perfect name for a blues song of all time. And it was in an article about John Lee Hooker, and it said it followed him into the recording studio, and it said he was, thanks, Marcia. It said, thanks, Nancy. It said that John Lee was playing in the studio, and he counted this song off, and it was called "Oh Baby Please." Oh Baby Please. And I thought, that's it. That's the ultimate. So I tried to look that song up recently, and when I tried to find it, it doesn't seem to exist. I might have made this whole thing up, or else he recorded it and it never got released, and there is no song called "Oh Baby Please." So I wrote it. And I thought, this is the ultimate. I should really play it on electric, but let me do it for you. I'll do it tonight. It's a debut performance of a new song. Not a straight 12-bar blues, but this is... Now, where does the chorus go? Oh, I know how it goes. Okay. I found your note on your pillow, and it just said goodbye. I know that I'm the one to blame, but old habits never die. No. Oh baby, please don't leave me. I'll never make it on my own. Oh baby, please stay with me. I'll never make it alone. Yeah. I opened the bar and did my shift. I don't know how I made it through. Every drink I poured and every face I saw reminded me of you. Yeah. And oh baby, please don't leave me. I'll never make it through. so it goes. Just another second chance, and I swear I'll make it good this time. Yeah. Oh baby, please don't leave me. I'll never make it on my own. Oh baby, please stay with me. I'll never make it on my own. I'll never make it on my own. Okay, friends, I used to live right through the woods behind Best Lake from the Watchung Arts Center, and I played it when it was still had classrooms in it. I was 23 years old when I played the Watchung Arts Center, and Alan came over, Steve came over, Mike and Kathy came over and sang Don't Burn the Bridges. And I actually, on that night, I had my guitar in hand, no sound system, and I just walked over through the woods in the dark with a flashlight. I walked to the Watchung Arts Center the very first time I played it. Tomorrow night I'm going to drive. Thanks, Jim and Paula. Thanks, Scotzo. Marsha Goforth, thank you. I love you all. You know what it's like. Or do you? The point is, don't try to write something clever and reinvent the wheel when you're writing a blues. You just want to do the gut thing. And Oh Baby Please is, to me, the greatest title of all time, and I found out that I could use it. Now, many, many years ago, to finish tonight, come by and say hello tomorrow night at the Watchung Arts Center. Please come up and say hello if you do go. This is a song that David Spinoza wrote 40 years ago, and as recently as this year, it was nominated for a Grammy with the Steve Gadd Group, and he taught it to me personally. And when he wrote it, it was called Friday the 13th, so that's why I'm doing it tonight. Thanks, Raj. Thanks, Arlene, for encouraging me with my bluesy streak. Here's the song David Spinoza wrote and taught me, Friday the 13th, and then he got superstitious and changed it. So now the song is called Hidden Drive, and if you go out on YouTube and look up Hidden Drive, you'll find my version of it. And the very first comment under the YouTube version is a comment from the world-famous guitar player Elliot Randall, who did Reelin' in the Years for Steely Dan, lives in London. Thanks, Elliot. let's play. Friday I won't be around. God bless you. Have a great night, a great weekend. If you're by tomorrow, come say hello. And we shall meet again next Friday, if not sooner.